Kevin, what happens when all the food runs out? What are you going to do then? What's all the money? What good is the money going to do you when there's no more food? And, I'm going to tell you guys right now, I'm going to keep it 100 right now, okay? They want you to think that we're going to run out of food. There's a few reasons behind why they want the population to believe this false prophecy of the possibility of running out of food. And the number one reason for it is profit. If the general public believes that food is going to be scarce, that means that they can charge whatever price they want and make you buy as much as possible, as fast as possible, even though you can't consume it at the rate of which you're buying it, only to stockpile it for it to potentially go bad or not be where you need it when you need it. The reason why they do this is because, in my opinion, if they told you the truth, it would cause so much uproar, so much chaos, that it would be unthinkable, unimaginable if they actually told you that we'll never run out of food. Instead, you'll run out of money before you run out of food. So the reason why they don't want to tell you this is because if you believe that you'll run out of money, if you believe you can run out of money, what are you going to do? You're not going to go out and buy a ton of food. You're not going to go out and spend a bunch of money. You're going to save money. And that's not conducive to capitalism. That's not conducive to driving the economy. That's not conducive to higher revenues and higher profits, and ultimately keeping people blind and in the dark, scared and afraid that we're going to run out of food. Not even realizing that we'll find food being so unbelievably god-awful expensive that you don't have enough money to afford it. The other reason is that if they told you the truth that we will never run out of food and we have plenty of it, and we will continue to have plenty of food for those who can afford it, and they told you the truth being, odds are you'll run out of money before you run out of food, well, that's providing too much information. That's providing too much education to the masses. That would be providing too much truth to the public, to the people, waking them up from this dream or nightmare. I'm not quite sure which word you would use to describe the current situation that you're in. But they know that you'll go buy food. They know that you'll try to hoard and stockpile food. And they also know that you may even attempt to try to grow food. Always worrying, always panicking that you're going to go hungry, that you're going to go starve, not realizing that your body can actually survive for weeks without food. It needs water, but weeks without food. Now, granted, your cognitive dissonance, your psychological state, your mental capacity may be stretched the longer you go without food, but your body can actually survive long periods of time without food. Only needs water. You could go far longer with water and no food than you could go with food and no water. Think about that. Especially depending on the food you choose to consume. Which odds are the food that you're stockpiling, that your pantry is full of, that your bunker is stacked to the rafters full of, very little, if any, water. So the simple fact of the matter is if I tell you, hey, odds are we will face an economic crisis of running out of money in households before we run out of food. And those who run out of money will ultimately run out of food, although food is still available. Food is still on the shelves. Food is still out there, but if you don't have the money to buy it, then you can't get it. Sure, you could go to a homeless shelter, you can go to a soup kitchen, you can go and beg for it, but even they may not have it. So what happens when we run out of food? If we run out of food, life will cease to exist as we know it. Odds are it probably already has at that point. The food will outlast us and only stop its creation because we stop working to create it. But what happens if you run out of money? Well, if you run out of money, then you're going to run out of food faster. If you run out of money, you're going to run out of shelter. You're going to be homeless. If you run out of money, you're probably going to also run out of a job. You don't have to be unemployed to run out of money. You can be employed, run out of money, lose your ability to have transportation to go to work, lose your ability to use public transportation, lose your ability for Uber or rideshare or Lyft to go to work, lose your ability to maintain the proper levels of insurance and healthcare and bathing and cleanliness to be in any acceptable state to go to work, to maintain your employment. If you run out of money, that is going to be far worse, far more detrimental than this theoretical false narrative and idea that's being pumped through the masses, the folks who haven't quite woken up just yet, who don't realize that even at the highest state of possible risk of running out of food last year, we never even came close. Never even came close. All we did was see prices continuously rise, continuously go up. So, you tell me, do you think that we are at greater risk of running out of food, or do you think we're at greater risk of running out of money because prices continuously rise, inflation continuously climbs, interest rates continuously go up, jobs continuously get lost, credit card balances continuously increase, debt continuously becomes accumulated more? Yeah, I think I'm on the right track as far as preparing myself and my family financially and focusing on that more so than the idea of what if we run out of food. Because again, I don't see it happening. I don't see it as a realistic, viable possibility that is of any real threat or concern. And the simple fact of the matter is, the truth is that food, you will run out of it because you can't afford it before we run out of it because it doesn't exist, because they can't make it, because they're not producing it, because they're not growing it. That's the real truth. Target, Walmart, Kroger, Publix, Costco, Whole Foods, Aldi, Lidl, doesn't matter what it is, they'll have food. The question is, will you have money to buy?